Welcome to the recording and thanks for stopping by here. Today I'm actually going to talk about using a two PC setup specifically for people who do some sort of production and they've got two PCs. One PC is used for production and the other PC is used for recording or live streaming. Now this is essentially, using two PCs but not wanting to use any sort of audio interface between the PCs. So this is actually capturing the video and audio over the network. Now what we're going to use today is something called NDI, which is by a company called Newtek, and this actually allows us to capture video and sound from one computer to the other without the use of an audio interface. Now I'm actually going to demonstrate that. It's actually very, very useful, especially for people who are producing music. Uh, so let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and demonstrate this. So as you can see right now, I am on my streaming PC. The one you're seeing right now is my PC that I use to capture the sound and the video from the production PC and record it or live stream it. And so on this PC, what is required? I'm going to talk about the streaming PC first, and then I'm going to go to the production PC. So on the streaming PC, what you would need is you would need something called OBS Studio. And OBS Studio can be downloaded from the OBS website. So I'm actually just going to go and show you where to find that. So if you actually go to Google and type in OBS, the first result that comes up is Open Broadcaster software, and you can actually download OBS for Windows, Mac, or Linux. So once you've actually downloaded OBS for Windows, Mac, or Linux by clicking on one of these links and installing the software, that's step number one. And then the second step you would need to do is download the OBS NDI plugin. So if you type in OBS NDI, and the first result that you would get would be the OBS NDI plugin. And you can actually go to downloads over here and install the OBS NDI plugin. I'm actually not going to do that because I've already got mine installed on my computer, but I just wanted to show you exactly where and how to find this OBS NDI plugin. So once you have these two pieces of software installed on your computer, go ahead and open up OBS. And once you've got OBS opened up, you would see something on the lines of, and I'm just going to show you my OBS. There's a lot going on in my OBS, so please disregard everything else, but this is essentially OBS Studio. Now, it does look quite daunting, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing over here. So once you have OBS Studio installed and it's running, what you need to do is make sure you go to settings and make sure you've got your output in your settings set correctly. So if you are going to be, this is for recording mainly, so you go to the output tab, go to recording, and make sure that it is set to MP4. You've got all your audio tracks checked, and you're using CQP 15 is a pretty good quality with two keyframe intervals. Okay, so once you've done that, next go to Tools and make sure that your NDI output settings is enabled. So you can enable these two, the main output and preview output. Make sure that these two are enabled, and click on OK. And those two are enabled. Now what we want to do is we want to add an NDI source because we need a way to capture the stream coming from the other PC into this PC over NDI. So what we need to do is go ahead and add an NDI source. So what you would actually do in this case is create a new scene. I've called my scene, as you can see, PC NDI, and that is my scene. Right now it's going to show up as blank because it's not receiving an NDI feed. And then when you get there, as you can see, I've got a PC NDI source. I've named it PC NDI source 1. So all you need to do is click on the plus icon And once as you've installed NDI, you'll have NDI source right over here. You can click on NDI source, and you can name it whatever you like. And once you do that, press OK. It'll save it as an NDI source, and you'll see it in your list of sources. I've already created a few. So the one I'm using is the PC NDI source one. So I can just add an existing source, PCI NDI source one, and then press OK. In this case, I'm just going to click cancel because I've already got the source over here. So this is NDI source one, and so this is what you need to set up on your recording or streaming PC. Now, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and turn on my production PC, and I'll show you what's actually happening over there. There we go. It just took a little bit of time, but it's actually showed up. So that's my second screen, and of course this is my first screen. As you can see. So this is where I'm running NDI. So that's really the way to actually get NDI on into OBS. But what we're interested in doing is actually getting the sound of your DAW into OBS. And so the best settings for that is to open up Ableton Live. Now, what's really important in Ableton Live, the important thing is to, it's easy to capture the video. However, NDI by default doesn't actually pick up the ASIO sound. So we need to play around a little bit with the ASIO to make sure that NDI and OBS does pick it up. So usually, if you go to Options and you go to Preferences, you would actually have the driver selected as ASIO. But in this case, if you do select ASIO, your computer is your streaming PC or recording PC is not going to pick up the audio. So what we usually do is we select MME DirectX. Now when we do that, um, you can select the audio output device, and you can still select it as your sound card. And so I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. And so I'm going to exit out of Ableton, and I'm going to relaunch Ableton again because I've just turned on my sound card. And I'll go ahead and I can just exit out of that and go to Options, Preferences, and I can make sure that even though I've selected DirectX, I can still use my sound card. So I can select the DX option over here, and I've set the output buffer size to the lowest I can go without actually receiving any crackling audio. And I've go ahead and done that. And once I do that, as you can see, I can actually open up a instrument to demonstrate this one, and I'll go ahead and open up electric. And now as you can see that I've got the right NDI setting selected over here, which is system audio, and I've got my correct settings selected right over here in preferences, which is the line out. I can actually get audio into um, into my recording application. So really, that's an easy way how to get sound directly from your production PC into your live stream PC without using an audio interface. This is obviously my first tutorial, but I hope you found it helpful. Please leave your comments in the description, in the comment section, and of course, please, if you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot more information coming through. Thank you for that.